This on? Hello? Okay. This is my global warming video. This was because of a small discussion this morning about global warming. I woke up drinking Mountain Dew and I decided to tweak people like I do on Facebook. And it turned into this. Because I got thinking about the subject of global warming. It was a really cold morning this morning, and of course the country's suffering a deep freeze. We've got snow in Colorado. Here it is, goddamn May. My friend of mine in Alaska, he can't do anything because it's still snowing up there. Poor bastard. And so I made a comment about the global warming thing, which is really global climate change, because the whole global warming part kind of looked silly when everybody was getting their ass frozen. And people are at global warming conferences, you know, and it's 20 degrees below normal there, so they kind of tweaked it that now that we're affecting climate change. But I want to explain why I do not believe this, why I believe that global warming, or the global warming thing, is faith-based, and this is why. Okay, now if we were to map the age of the Earth and the climate of the Earth is roughly 4.5 billion, 4.54 billion years old. Okay, so if we were to do a chart with, this is fuck, it's hot, and damn, it's cold. Okay, and we were to graph the super hot and the super cold of the Earth, you would find that the Earth started as a molten mass and was very hot, and then it cooled off, and then it warmed up, and the dinosaurs and all that, and then, yeah, we had an ice age, so it got cold, but then it warmed up, okay, and it did this little number. Now, what you can observe about this is that it did it on its own, because there were no people here or here or here or here, so man wasn't involved in the equation, and that the climate of the Earth has never remained a constant in the history of its creation. It never has stayed the same for an indefinite amount of a period of time. It warms, it cools. It does that on its own. It never needed our help. Now, if you were to look really closely at this, if this is if this was a span of billions of years, the amount of recorded data that we have, that we can look at climate, the climate charts, and what we've recorded and what we've measured, sea levels, glaciers, trees, whatever that we've looked at, when we started recording such things, you could not blow this up big enough to see the area that we're talking about. It would be not even a pinpoint on this. We're talking here. Now, the problem I have with this, that we're talking in here, is that in here we don't have enough data that we know what direction things are going for any period of time, because more likely this chart right here isn't a smooth sine curve. It's probably more apt to be, and I'm going to have a hard time doing this, and I know, sorry about the camera work, but it's probably more jaggedy, like this, like economic charts. It didn't do a smooth, it peaked and it valleyed. And each one of these little bumps here would actually represent, say, 100, 200 years or whatever. And we can't measure, we haven't measured more than a couple hundred of our own years. So you're talking about taking one little spike on that, and you're saying, in essence, that that spike that you've measured, all of a sudden it's doing this, it's doing, up the ups and downs of whatever, and now we're at a point that we've measured one of those little uphill spikes, and we're saying it's going to do that indefinitely. It's going to go off the chart forever now unless we do something about it. And to me, that's an absurdity, that we can, in an arrogance, that we can take our little teeny part of our measured existence, that we actually recorded things. We're not even talking about the age of human beings. We're talking about the age of recorded climate data. And we're going to take that little blip and we're going to just project that off the charts right to the sky unless something is done. It's a cataclysmic warming upturn that won't come down on its own. And when the Earth has done that in the past. And the problem that I have with this is that there are scientists out there that know damn well they can't take a measurement like that, or they can't take that limited amount of data and make that kind of assumption. There are scientists that fight that very fact, that say, look, you don't have enough data, there's not enough measured material. Taking glacial samples and sea level samples and going to Antarctica and boring a few holes over the last 50 years isn't going to tell you 4.6 billion years worth of the Earth's. You can't go back to 400 BC and know on March 10th how warm it was on that day. We're never going to be able to do that. So we can't measure those things. We can't take and look at the overall picture that we're trying to judge one tiny little thing. But there are people out there that will stand fast by it, and that's why I have an issue with it. It's like trying to explain to a Christian evolution, or make them, show them, well, this is the real age of the Earth, this is, how man evolved, and here's the data, and you're going to give it to them, and they're going to look, and they're just not going to believe it. And global warming, the people who are pro-global warming are the same way. You can show all the data in the world, and they're not going to believe it. So to me, it's faith-based. They take what they want to see. They want, that they found out that, the sea level at Antarctica rose 6 inches in the last 100 years, and, that's because, ice is melting and we're all doomed. And they're going to take that to be what it is. But the arrogance is that we're taking the small amount of data that we have, and we're projecting, like the economy. The economy rises and falls, it dips and it dives and it comes up. That's like saying that the economy, when it's on a downturn, is plunging forever, or that it's on an upswing, and we know that. There's no chart or graph in the world that goes completely straight up forever. It doesn't happen, and it's not happening. It doesn't happen in this case. If you were to objectively look at the life of the Earth, but that's my little rant. That's why I don't believe in it. I mean, you believe in it if you want, believe whatever. The problem I have is that the people that don't want to believe in it live and let live. The people that want to believe in it are doing activist things, trying to make other people part of their belief. Because, hey, it's always the person that's on the end of the doomsday that, the live and let live guy can do his thing, but it's the person that's on the end of the doomsday that says, if something isn't done now, then you've got to conform to my way of thinking. And that's just, it's like religion. It's the same thing. The guy that doesn't want to believe is okay, but the Christian that wants to believe it is going to be, hey, you're going to hell, you have to see things my way. And the other guy is like, well, why can't I just do, I'm just going to do my thing, you see things your way. Oh, no, we can't have that. So the poor guy that, like myself, that does not believe for 1 second that global warming is an actual science, is going to be chastised for his belief, because somehow my believing this, it's affecting them. It's like smoking or whatever. It's it's the same thing. I mean, I just want to be left alone on the whole deal and do my thing my way, but I have to believe their way of thinking, because their way is detrimental. If I don't think their way, things are bad. If I believe my way, then whatever. It's inconsequential, but whatever. That's my rant. It's long. I got to go racing. Got to go pollute the atmosphere with a lot of nasty race fuel smoke. Have fun. Bundle up.